of encountering a partner for whom self-control and delayed gratification are ongoing challenges. The core question, when you see this a curated collection of art, or is it a potential biomarker of an impulsive psychology that will inevitably permeate your shared financial future, your emotional security, and the sanctity of your commitment? Risk 2, the shadow of trauma, when art is armor. The narrative of reclamation, this requires immense empathy. A substantial body of clinical work links tattoos, particularly in women, with histories of anxiety, depression, self-harm, and trauma. Full of decoration but an instrument of reclamation. It's a ritual to take ownership of a body that has felt violated, to mark a survival anniversary, to transform a site of pain into a site of power. A phoenix, a semicolon, a beautiful quote, symbols of resilience. Dating the unresolved wound. The potential risk for a partner lies not in the past trauma itself, but in its present-day unresolved state. If the wounds that inspired the tattoos are still open, you are not just dating the woman, you delve into her ongoing internal war. Unhealed trauma is not a static event, it is an active, volatile force that manifests through complex psychological adaptations. Unpredictable attachment styles, she may exhibit this looks like intense closeness followed by sudden, cold withdrawal, a deep fear of abandonment coupled with behaviors that push you away, a tendency by creating crises. Dynamic is exhausting and confusing. Emotional flashbacks and triggers, a seemingly innocuous word or situation can trigger a disproportionate emotional response rooted in past pain, not the present of navigating a minefield where you are often blamed for explosions you didn't plant. Cycles of self-sabotage, there can be an unconscious drive to prove deeply held negative self-beliefs, I am unlovable, I will be abandoned, true. This may manifest, thus confirming her worldview. Men often mistake this darkness for depth and this volatility for passion. But intensity is not intimacy. A storm is intense, but you cannot build a foundation on shifting sand. Her ink may be a map of battles survived, but if the battlefield is still active, you will become a casualty. The core question, is this body art? Or is it body armor? And if it is, she actively engaged in healing, or is she using the art as a substitute for the harder internal work? Risk 3, the economy of validation, when you are never enough. The public statement, by definition, tattoos are a form of public communication. They broadcast identity, rebellion, and individuality. While countless individuals get tattoos for deeply personal reasons, psychological research consistently identifies a correlation between tattoo ownership and higher traits of extroversion, narcissism, and attention-seeking behavior. The bottomless pit of need. In a relational context, this pattern is critical. If a significant by external validation, your attention, love, and commitment will never be sufficient. She operates within a validation economy where your currency is constantly devalued by the market. This need manifests as the social media ecosystem. Public consumption. Provocative photos, framed as body positivity or empowerment, become a primary source of validation. Your concerns about boundaries are dismissed as your insecurity, effectively making you the problem for noticing her need for a wider audience. The thrill of the chase, the energy is directed towards the acquisition of attention, not the maintenance of a deep, singular connection. Compliments from strangers, flirtatious interactions, and the knowledge of being desired by rewarding than the security of being loved by one. The inevitable temptation, when combined with this constant need for novel validation becomes a powerful catalyst for emotional or physical infidelity. The line between enjoying attention and seeking it out in inappropriate ways becomes dangerously thin. The center of attention is ego-boosting. But it quickly devolves into a draining, zero-sum game where you are in perpetual competition with the outside world for her focus and loyalty.